Okay, back with episode 3, installment 3, the Brent Connor Show with producer Tony. What's happening, producer Tony?
Hey, Brent, how are you doing today?
I'm not so good.
Why? What's the matter?
Well, Tony, my dog died 2 days ago.
Oh, that's sad.
She was my dog, the family dog. That's your dog. She doesn't live with me, but she was 14. She lived a good life.
That was what, Jade?
Jade, yep. She was a Yorkshire Terrier, and I never felt like such a man walking her in a purple leash.
Well, your listeners should know who she is. She's the dog you're holding in the promo picture.
Yeah, that they're looking at right now. That was her parting gift.
So Jade is no more.
Jade is no more. It's tough getting over the loss of a loved one.
It is. Is this the first pet you've lost?
It is not. It is not. The first one went a little more tragically than this. This Jade died peacefully in her sleep next to my father. The other one was smushed by a car.
Okay. I hate to laugh, but it's funny when you said smushed.
I think I was kind of a sociopath back then. I was leaving for senior week.
Uh-huh.
And I came downstairs, and my mother threw herself through the door and fell to the floor and was sobbing uncontrollably. My first thought was, I hope my siblings are all still alive.
Okay.
Then when I realized that they were, and it was the dog, I was like, all right, well, I got to go to senior week. But ever since then, I've become a huge animal lover. Yeah, I like animals way more than most people.
You had any other pets or pets in the house growing up that met
Oh, yeah, we did have a bunny rabbit.
You had a bunny rabbit.
That died too. Yeah, he died too. I mean, everybody dies. People die. Nope, nobody goes on forever. I'm not going to go on forever. You're not going to go on forever. But he died premature. He froze to death.
How did your bunny freeze to death?
My parents left him outside in his cage.
He was an outdoor bunny? Well, apparently not.
No, he was not an outdoor bunny. But what are we going to talk about today? Let's get past the chit. Let's keep the listeners tuned in. We're going to go over all 4 major sports: football, baseball. Playoffs are nearing by, or that's not a good term. Playoffs are coming up.
Right.
NBA and NHL are both about to start. The only thing noteworthy about the NBA was Media Day was entertaining. Then the NHL. Really, the only thing to talk about is the Flyers' new mascot, Gritty. And then what else are we going to talk about?
Speaking of Philadelphia and Philadelphia sports, the collapse of the Philadelphia Phillies, who were 6 weeks ago 15 games above 500, and looks like they're going to wind up with a losing record, no shot at the playoffs, and what seems to be no plan for the future.
Well, there's no shot at the playoffs, that's for sure. They are going to end up with a losing record. Are they going to win another game is the question. We talked last week about how Vontae Davis essentially quit. No, not essentially. He quit at halftime.
Literally quit. Changed his clothes, walked out of the locker room at halftime.
Have the Phillies quit? I would say yes. They can't score. They can't win. What gives?
I think they're just playing out the string. They've been playing not even 300 baseball for the past 7 weeks. They brought in a bunch of veterans when they were playing well and looked like they were bound for the playoffs. And since then, they brought in all these old.
They brought in a bunch of losers. They brought in 2 guys from the Mets. Who stunk.
They had opportunities to re-sign 2 former Phillies who are now performing really well for their respective teams. Jay Happ with the Yankees, Cole Hamels with the Cubs. Instead, they stuck with these young guys and their 6 and 7 ERAs and their 3 2/3 inning starts. It's frustrating. And
then they brought in Joey Bats and Asdrubal Cabrera First of all, they made all the fans very confused. You got a Odubel Herrera and a Struble Cabrera. What the hell's going on here? Then you're taking the bat out of Michael Franco and Nick Williams' hands, and you're giving the at bats to those bums. And then, to no surprise, they faltered. So what gives?
I don't know. The manager, Gabe Kapler, is an odd individual. He's probably the strangest manager in all of baseball.
How so?
I don't think we've had the same lineup 2 days in a row. Guys start the game off playing first base. 4 innings later, they're playing third base. He's got his starting shortstop hadn't even come to bat once. It was in the second inning, and he pinch hit for him when the bases were loaded. Those are just odd moves.
I'd say so. I was just checking out their record over the last few weeks. They have lost, my math serves me correctly, 12 of 14.
Correct.
Yikes.
That's Orioles territory.
Yeah, let's go to my Orioles. So this is, I guess, going to be a little Philadelphia, Baltimore-centric show. This is it for Buck. This is his last weekend as the Orioles manager. I hope that they give him the right send-off on Sunday. I think he's earned it. He inherited a team that was pretty bad. Pretty bad. And he brought some good memories to Baltimore. So did Adam Jones. Might be Adam Jones' last hoorah also. So thank you, guys. But yes, I have not watched I've still followed baseball this season because I love baseball, but I have not watched one full Orioles game all year, including the one I went to. I left early. That was opening day. Other than that, I have not tuned in. What's the point?
Yeah, well, they abandoned you.
Oh, you can't say that.
By the team they fielded, that's a big middle finger to the fan base.
They originally fielded an all right team. They had star power. They had Manny. They had Scope. They had Jones. But now I'd rather them rebuild, and instead of kidding themselves and kidding us and thinking they can win with the guys that they had. What else in baseball? You know, the Red Sox had quite a historic year, but they're not my favorite. I'm excited about next week with the playoffs, but I think Houston or Cleveland is going to come out of the American League.
Cleveland. Nobody's saying much about Cleveland.
Got a pretty nice lineup. They got good pitching.
What about the Oakland A's? Been out of it for a long time. They're making the playoffs for the first time in years.
I think they lack the bulldog in their lineup. The one thing is they do have good players. Steven Piscotty, the real Chris Davis on the A's. Matt Chapman is sneakily one of the best third basemen in baseball. I can't remember the pitcher. Sean Manaea he's a stud. I think, did he throw a no-hitter this year? Other than that, I don't really see. I think Edwin Jackson is their second pitcher, and that's not good going into the playoffs. They have good chemistry, and I think that's helped them win, but I don't see them I don't even see them beating the Yankees in the wild card game. And then, like I said, the Astros and the Indians are the full package, baby. Lineups are scary. They have the studs in their rotation. You watch. Not really going out on a limb, but
yeah, when you got Justin Verlander in your rotation, I think you're pretty solid right there.
Do you think anyone cares what we're talking about? By the way, people don't
Probably
like baseball anymore. So this is for the baseball fans. Yeah, they should. I think if you don't like baseball,
it's on America.
Might as well just be an idiot. Yeah, what's there not to like? I hear that so much. Oh, I don't like baseball. It's so boring. What else is fun? Taking Instagram pictures of yourself? I don't know what else is fun. To me, all there is to do is like watch sports and drink beer or watch like a movie or something. Walk around and see things.
Speaking of movies, have you seen any good movies lately, either in the movie theater or on Netflix or Amazon?
Oh, I've seen a movie recently. I wouldn't consider it good. In fact, I'm not sure why it's not being talked about more. It is Gotti, the Gotti movie. I didn't even know it was being made. I didn't realize it came out. I saw it on demand. Good story. I'm into that mafia stuff. I read the book. I watched the original movie from 20 something years ago with Armand Asante. This is one of the most dog shit movies I have ever seen in my entire life. And I mean it. I'm not exaggerating. John Travolta, he is possibly one of the worst actors there is right now. He had a good career. He's been good recently and like taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, but he's just a total joke now. Not only did not a single character in that movie come close to portraying a mobster or anyone that would be believable to be in the mafia, they don't even appear to be Italian. What kind of casting job is that? What movies have you seen recently?
Gosh, I haven't been in the movies in a while. I watch a lot of stuff on cable. I watch some Netflix or some shows. That the problem with binge watching is once you get through all your shows, you're out of episodes and you want more, and you got to wait a year for your new shows for new episodes to come on.
I tend to forget what happens by the following season.
Yeah, me too. Like I really enjoyed The Punisher on Netflix.
Great
that
show.
was a good
It's one
show.
of my favorites.
And I'm waiting for the new season, and I tried watching Daredevil a little bit, because it's kind of related. It's in that Punisher universe, and
it is not kind of related. It is related. It's in the universe. It's in Hell's Kitchen. The Punisher is in Daredevil.
Yeah, and they share.
How out of all the unrealistic superheroes that have ever existed, is that the most unrealistic one? A blind lawyer by day becomes a superhero at night?
What, the blind can't be superheroes? Is that your problem with this?
More of the lawyer.
Probably. A lawyer doing good?
Oh, we're just kidding to all of our lawyer friends out there. Do you have any lawyer friends?
I don't have any friends. So.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of movies, I thought about the time where we went to the movie. Well, producer Tony is my uncle. Sorry, I had to bring the family in this.
That's okay. Full disclosures is okay.
We went and saw a movie, Con Air.
Oh, no.
In the theaters.
When we were in the empty movie theater and we were sitting in the back row.
We weren't the only people there, Tony.
Well, you were what, maybe 13, 14 years old?
I was in junior high. Yeah, maybe let's call it. Let's say, Con Air came out in 1997, and I did not just look that up. And it was the summer of 97, so I was 12.
Please don't touch the bunny.
No, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you just put the bunny back in the box?
From getting sidetracked from that awesome Nicolas Cage movie, there was a couple sitting.
Isn't every Nicolas Cage movie awesome, by the way?
Pretty much.
So there was a couple sitting
5-6 seats over from us, and we were the only 4 people in the movie theater. And I noticed that the young lady was sharing a seat with the gentleman that took her to the movie theater.
Oh.
And the seat was awfully uncomfortable because she kept bouncing up and down.
And I looked over and I said, "Hey, Uncle Tony, what is that lady doing over there?"
And I tried to pretend nothing was happening.
You just ignored me?
No, I was trying to convey, don't watch, don't look.
Yeah, why don't you watch the movie there?
Yeah, I think it was the opening credits. They weren't even into the movie yet.
They must have liked each other. Couple goals, right?
Very much.
Well, that's not something you see every day.
No.
Or want to see.
We would always, anytime I would take you anywhere, we would run into degenerates. I took you to that Leonard Skinner concert.
Yeah.
When you were about 14, and you hated it because at the time you were into rap and couldn't stand this music.
Yeah, now I like all music, including Leonard Skinner.
And anyway, the guy behind you tapped you on the shoulder because he thought he lost his joint and it rolled under your foot? Could you please check?
No, that's not what he said. First of all, for some reason, I picture like Mr. Larson from Happy Gilmore, even though it's probably not what the guy looked like. I was sitting down, my hands over my head, and the guy tapped me. Remember, I looked old when I was 14. And he said, "Hey, man, yeah, got any rolling paper or anything, dude?"
That's right.
And I said, "No, I don't. I don't even think I knew what rolling paper was at the time." So I was sure that I didn't have it. Back to movies and shows. You wanted to discuss. So I am so sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're the host.
Well, I don't watch a lot of shows on TV. I mainly watch shows on Netflix and Amazon Prime when I can get around to someone's house that has that. One thing I will say, The Big Bang Theory is coming to an end. Thank God.
Yeah, that's overdue.
Yeah, maybe the most overdue running of a series ever. It ran its course. It was funny and it was cute while it lasted.
We get it. They're nerds. And
They're
one
nerds.
of them is chick. Great.
Yeah.
But getting back to Netflix shows, there are a couple I like. Do you watch, have you seen Santa Clarita Diet?
Never even heard of it. So no.
Well, this is surprising to me because it stars Drew Barrymore. And essentially she's a zombie. She got turned into
John Barrymore's granddaughter?
Yeah, that would be her.
I thought so.
And what's really funny is I never considered myself a Drew Barrymore fan. I was like, but I think I am because I like her in this show. And I love Adam Sandler movies. And I think she's really good with Adam Sandler. So despite the fact that I didn't think I was a Drew Barrymore fan, I think it turns out that I am.
Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler are a terrific match.
They need to do the Wedding Singer classic, 50 First Dates. That was a good movie.
Blended is the best one out of all three of them.
You think?
I do, yeah. It's an under the radar, hilarious movie. And I like all the Netflix movies that Adam Sandler's pumping out too. People are such movie snobs. Have you found that?
All the time.
Everyone's always got something to say. Oh, it's so stupid. Blah. Well, no shit. Some of these movies are supposed to be stupid, and they're just mindless humor.
God forbid they make you laugh.
Yeah. Why does everything have to be like some brilliant piece of art?
Yeah, I don't
Can't
need PhD to understand the joke. If you kick a guy in the balls, that's funny.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Unless you've been kicked in the balls a lot.
Yeah, that's not funny. That's not so funny. But what are some movies? I know you and I have talked about this in the past. That some movies that you can just keep watching, and that you maybe didn't even like them to start, but then the more you watch them, the funnier they get, and the more they go on your favorites list. First one for me was, I have two. The first one for me was Step Brothers. The first time I watched it, I was like, it's okay.
Step Brothers is one. The other guys, with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
I think they're all Will Ferrell movies too. The other one I've been really enjoy, and you can pick it up at any point. You don't have to watch these from the beginning. That's the joy of these movies.
Yes,
you can pick them up in the middle, and you're not lost by the plot because the plot doesn't really matter. They're just
plot does not matter in those movies.
Land of the Lost. They did a remake of the old 70s TV show with Will Ferrell and Danny McBride. And I watched it when it first came out, and it was kind of okay. And now I watch it, I see it, and it makes me laugh more than almost anything else that I've seen.
Well, that's something. How about Envy?
Envy. What was Envy?
Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Christopher Walken. Ben Stiller and Jack Black are next door neighbors. They have dead-end jobs. Jack Black is a dreamer. He's always got the next best idea, and he comes up with an idea to spray a chemical on dog poop and make the dog poop disappear with no explanation of how he's going to do it. And then he asks Ben Stiller for some seed money. They want to go in. He wants to go in 50-50. Ben Stiller laughs him off. Then, sure enough, Vaporize actually works. And instead, Jack Black becomes this multi-millionaire, maybe even a billionaire. I don't know. There's a lot of money in the movie. Instead of going and moving somewhere, he rips his house down and builds this gigantic mansion so he can live next to his best pal. So the premise of the movie is Ben Stiller is envious of Jack Black, and I don't think I need to explain anymore. Yeah, and then sprinkle in Christopher Walken. You know, you don't even know he's going to be in the movie. You see Ben Stiller sitting there all depressed because he just blew up at his boss because he's so envious of his best friend. And all of a sudden, the backdrop, you hear, "Hey, what did you go and blow up at your boss for?" That is icing on the cake. Tony, you want to switch to sports?
Sure. What do you think about you want to go over some of the games coming up this weekend in the NFL?
Not particularly, but sure.
Okay. I'm going to switch this on you. You usually do this. I'm going to ask you about the games. You tell me.
Oh, okay. I like that.
All right. How about the Vikings-Rams game? What do you think?
I like the Vikings. You know why?
Why?
Because everything seems to be going very well for the Rams. However, their two starting corners are out, Peters and Talib. And then Captain Kirk is going to have a bounce-back game. It doesn't get any worse than last week. Minnesota's got a good team, but so I could see them exploiting the new corners tonight, and Diggs having a big game, Thielen having a big game, and they're two pretty evenly matched teams to begin with. It was just Cousins was so bad last week. I don't expect him to be that bad, so I like the Vikings.
Vikings it is, and let's talk about the Vikings' last week opponent who blew them out of the water. The Bills are playing the Packers in Green Bay. Think the Bills will keep the red hot streak going, or are they going to come back to earth?
I think the Bills are a much different team with Josh Allen. Even that Ravens game, as silly as it sounds, they showed signs of life once he came in. And I didn't watch the second game. I'm sure they got killed. And they looked great last week. But I don't see him beating Green Bay at Green Bay, especially Green Bay coming off a loss. So the momentum is going to stop.
Let's put it in a W column for the Packers.
Yeah, sure. By the way, I have to say something about blanket statements with nothing to substantiate. I heard a couple of days ago, oh yeah, I heard Aaron Rodgers is a weird guy and he's a conspiracy theorist. So I say, okay, how do you hear? Tell me about it. Oh, this girl I know who knows him somewhat said so. Oh, what are some of the conspiracy theories he believes in? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to curse too much on the show. All right. I said, well, F her, okay? You can't just go around making statements like that without something to substantiate it. Tell me, like, he thinks nobody landed on the moon or something was an inside job. Don't just say, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. I hate that.
Well, people want to believe the worst in people. So throw out things like that, unsubstantiated, just to give them a knock.
Philly at Tennessee. Oh, we're going to turn around. You were going to ask me. You were going to be the hosting guy. Go ahead.
Okay. So how about the Dolphins at the Patriots?
You know what?
Yeah, or the Giselle Olivia Bowl.
Yeah, the Giselle Olivia Bowl. Yeah, Danny Amendola got hit pretty hard a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, okay, Olivia Culpo might be single. He bounced right back. I don't know. It's a big game, I guess, for Miami, right?
3-0 Dolphins. Patriots are 1-2.
I say the Patriots win.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I hope the Dolphins win. Be nice to see the Patriots' reign at the top come to a crashing halt. I really don't know who's going to win. We're just assuming based on the last 18 years 19 seasons that the Patriots aren't going to go 1-3.
Right. That's true. How about the Bengals at the Falcons?
Atlanta. No particular reason why.
I agree. Jets, Jaguars. Like, we both know the answer to this.
I do. I know the answer to this one. Jaguars. It's at Jacksonville. They're pissed. The corners for Jacksonville are the best in the league. They're going to prey on the rookie quarterback, Darnold. It's going to be 6-5. That's the final score.
Cowboys, Lions.
Do we have to talk about this one?
No, we can move on. Just pick one and we'll move to the next.
It's two bad teams. Dallas is bad. Dak Prescott is bad. Can't even throw for more than 200 yards. He's got weapons. He's got no excuses. Where is it? Let me look here. Is that Dallas? Let's go with Dallas. Tickets are $6 to that game on StubHub. $6.
Can't give them away.
Yeah. All right, next.
Buccaneers, Bears.
Is that even a question? When you have the MVP as your starting quarterback, you're going to win. Doesn't matter where you go. Doesn't matter if you're facing Khalil Mack. I mean, I'm liking the MVP and Fitzpatrick in this game. You know, he had such a bad game last week, but he still threw for over 400 yards, and he's still the leading passer.
Yeah.
Tampa.
All right. Texans, Colts. The game nobody cares about. I don't even think the Texans or Colts care about it.
I think the Texans care. I think they're going to win. They have two winners. I think Deshaun Watson is a winner. J.J. Watt is a winner. You know, he might not have a ring or have a lot of playoff wins at his disposal, but they'll win.
Okay. Eagles, Titans down in Nashville, Tennessee.
Eagles look like they don't look so good. And Titans don't have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball. Marcus Mariota is still having issues with his hand, which could be good for the Eagles defense that's struggling. Let's just go with the Eagles here.
Apparently, it's going to be close to being an Eagles home game, even though it's in Nashville, as Eagles Nation travels pretty well. Browns, Raiders.
Browns.
Any reason why? Or you just like
because they're good and the Raiders are not good.
And you like Baker Mayfield and you want to see Chucky.
It's all right.
What do you think Chucky has to say about this game?
I'll tell you what, man, this Baker Mayfield guy, man, he's out right now. He's going to come into the black hole, man, and I think he's going to sling that thing, and we got to prepare, man. You know, I listened to the impression. Not that good. I do impressions very well, but the Gruden is okay.
Yeah. What's his name? Frank
Costello.
Not Costello.
Yep, definitely Frank Costello. Frank Costanza. That's who you're thinking of.
That'll come to me later.
Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo. There we go.
Yeah, he's got a gift. He can do anyone at any time. It's pretty amazing.
He does the best Chucky. Saints, Giants.
The Saints. Giants aren't good either.
Saquon might run for a lot of yards, but
it's going to be a high-scoring game.
The Saints are going to seal the deal.
Sure.
Seahawks, Cardinals.
Seahawks. Cardinals are very bad. However, they might have some sort of life injected into them this week. Josh Rosen starting. How excited can you be when Sam Bradford is your quarterback? Probably not very.
Luckiest man in the history of the NFL. He's made over $100 million. I think just being in the right place at the right time.
Yep, he's certainly not good.
Okay, we've got Monday night game. Broncos, Chiefs. That's always a good divisional matchup.
Can't stop the Chiefs right now. Cannot stop them.
Think Mahomes is?
I'm going with them. I would pick them every week until they lose, until someone shows signs of stopping them. They're the greatest show on artificial grass. Hey, you like that, huh? That's pretty funny.
It's pretty good. 49ers Chargers. No Jimmy Garoppolo.
No Jimmy G. Don't even know who their quarterback is. His name's CJ Beathard. I've never heard of that guy.
He was their quarterback last year before they made the trade.
Well, he must be good.
He's Bobby Beathard's kin.
Okay. So what? His dad's a GM. Does that make him good?
No,
it doesn't. And that doesn't make the 49ers hopeful. So I'm going with the Chargers.
Okay. And what do we do about this matchup? Sunday night game. Your Baltimore Ravens versus the apparently dysfunctional Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a good question. What do we do? Flacco and the Ravens they play well at Heinz Field. And Steelers don't look too good. They won the other day. But the Ravens are looking pretty good so far, other than their Thursday night road game after a Sunday game. I like the Ravens. They're unstoppable in the red zone. Joe Flacco's the runner-up to the MVP. Their defense is good so far. Big Ben is fat and doesn't really care anymore, and Antonio Brown's a malcontent, and they're dysfunctional. So Ravens.
And you'd like to go on record as always being a big Joe Flacco guy.
Huge, always, my entire life.
Never lets you down. He's always in the spotlight shining on him.
I am very consistent as a fan with who I think is a good player. Very consistent. There is never a time where I say, "Oh, this guy, he's got to go," or a couple days later, "Oh, what a great hit! What a great play!" JJ Hardy, baby. That's one example. I rode the Hardy train from 2011 until 2017. Great Oriole.
You are not connected to a lie detector right now, apparently.
Not at all, or else there'd be a lot of beeps.
On that note, we'll wrap up your predictions for this week in the NFL. Brent, I think we're pretty much out of stuff to say.
Do you want to give us the Earl Weaver sign off?
I don't think so. We'll try and keep this a family show.
Okay. Well, thank you. Now get to work editing this thing.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's what you make the big bucks for.
Exactly.
See you next week, peoples.
For the Brent Connor Show podcast. A podcast you can't refuse.